Honorable Regional Councillors present here, Mr. Dr. Clemens van Doderer, the resident representative of the Seidel Foundation Stiftung in Namibia, Mr. Adolf Makanga, Chairperson of the Kavango East Regional Farmers Union, Mr. Johannes Winnie Ausiku, standing in for the Chairperson of the Kavango West Regional Farmers Union, Madam Sabina Nangadona Mufenda, Mr. Max Nyemburuko, Chairperson of the Community Forestry Association of Kavango East and Kavango West, Mr. Isak Kaholongo, lecturer at Aina, Mr. Aina Andreas, project coordinator of the NSFM Foundation, and Mr. Ndara, Forestry, director of Forestry in Kavango West. Thank you all for coming. Without wasting much time, I want to call upon Honorable Damian Maghambayi, standing in for Honorable Governor Rundu, to give us the welcome remarks.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremony. Okay. Yes, good morning. Are we alive? Director of Ceremony, Mr. Vincent Ricoro, Honorable Circa Usiku, our regional governor for the Kavango West Region, Honorable Victoria Kauma, the regional councillor for Rundu Urban Constituency, the host, and at the same time the vice chairperson of the National Council, the regional councillors present here, and local authority councillors present here, if there is any. Distinguished traditional leaders, our farmers, community forestry, members of the community forestry present here, very important, Dr. Clemens from Doderer, from Seidel Foundation, all invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Damian Maghambayi. I am standing in for Honorable Boniface Wakunumo, our regional governor, who is currently in Rundu with other equally important assignment. On his behalf, I will do the welcoming. It is with profound gratitude that I stand here today to welcome you all to the Kavango East region. Today we are here to attend a consultative meeting on promoting sustainable forest management in the Kavango and Zambezi regions. When we say in the Kavango, that is inclusive of East and West. This consultative meeting came at the right time when the region, particularly Kavango East region, is discussing the modality on how better to benefit from our God-given natural resources of our green woodland savanna forest of the Kavango region. We have various forest products that can be properly managed, such as we know them in our indigenous language, like Ngongo, Shi, Maumi, Nunda, Ukerete, to mention but a few, that can create food manufacturing hub in the region to address the issue of food security, unemployment, and poverty in the region. At the same time, our thatch grass and timbers has scaled very high in the international market. Therefore, a holistic, sustainable management of this product is highly needed, and through this consultative meeting, we need to brainstorm on how wise we can manage this product. To be honest with you, we have abundance of thatch grass in this region. Timber, we cannot talk about timber in this region, but how are the locals benefiting from this one? These are some of the topics that need to be brainstormed in this consultative meeting and come up with a solution and mechanisms on how local communities can benefit. It is therefore our expectations that this consultative talk will enable residents of these two regions to come up with a clear economic interventions mechanisms on how better to harvest our indigenous products for mass economic productions of the region. Director of Ceremony, having this platform at our disposal, I should admit that we have allowed international investors to directly harvest our forest products such as timber and thatch grasses or mango and leaving the community in poverty. And this is happening. Sometimes we are allowing those that we perceive as international investors to directly go to our forest and harvest these natural resources that need to be directly harvested by a local person and maybe find a way on how to sell it to international investors. I think those are the issues that we also need to discuss and find a way on how such activity can maybe be halted. Such approach should be condemned and allow the local community to directly harvest this forest product and for the local community to engage international investors for economic exchange. That is just what I say. I hope and trust that this consultation workshop will further assist in coming up with a developmental initiative from our forest resources that will drive these regions out of its current states of being forest while we have natural resources abundance at our disposal. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to reiterate that human-wildlife conflict in the Kavango East region, also to extend to the Kavango West region, is imminent. Therefore, I call upon the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, or Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, to ensure that human life are protected and devise a strategy on speed response. Speed response, we are talking about when we are encountering with the issue of wildlife conflict. Now that we have received plenty of rain, but this rain again has brought disaster within our region. Because wildlife are moving around all corners of the region because there are plenty of water and communities are in danger. Their fields are being attacked. But when cases of these incidents are being reported to the ministry, the response is always at minimum. That's why we're suggesting, for example, the ministry to come up with an emergency unit that will be placed in every constituency to respond to human life conflicts. Not excluding the attack of crocodiles that also continuously taking lives of the residents of this region. Lastly, I urge all participants to participate fully and capitalize on the information to move this region further. With a few remarks, let me now use this opportunity to welcome you all to this very wish you all pleasant deliberations. I thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you to the Governor who could not be here but made time because of other commitments eventually. May I kindly request the panel of experts that we have invited for this event to please bring their chairs somewhere there here in front. I think it is Mr. Kaholongo. Are you here?
He is not here yet. But
he's not here yet. Aina, Andreas? Yeah, please, can you come with your chair here? No. Mr. Ndara, can you please bring your chair? It's somewhere there. Thank you very, very much. It's just some housekeeping. Without wasting much time, may I call upon Dr. Clemens from Doderer, the resident representative of the Seidel to make some introductory remarks and tell us and inform us on the objectives of this coming together. Dr. Clemens.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us here today to talk about sustainable forest management, a key to adding value to local development. And I would like to actually especially thank Father Linus for his prayers connecting us with the Lord on Mother Nature, which was provided by the Lord. And we are the custodians. But we can all agree that we can do better. And that's what we're here for, to engage on sustainable forest management, to making sure that these resources are available not only for today's generation, but also for the future generations. And giving you a bit of a backdrop of this project and why we are here is, I would like to share some data or some information with you. According to a FAO report from 2020 last year, in 1990 we had 8.8 million hectares of forest land in Namibia. Today we're sitting with 6.6 million. So we've lost 25% of our forests in the process since independence. And to break it down in simple terms, wherever you have forests, you've got rain. Some of the colleagues who were here earlier this morning heard that already, so my apologies if I repeat myself here. But at the same time, I feel we need to repeat that story, and that is, where you have forests, you've got rain. Where you have no forests, you have no rain. So we all have a responsibility here to ensure that we maintain our forests as an ecosystem so that we have rain in the future here. And I think we can all agree that Namibia has one thing already too much, and that is desert. We don't need more desert, do we? So, based on that, based on our constitution, especially Article 95, sub-Article L, we also have the responsibility, the state, us, society, everybody here has a responsibility to make sure that we use our natural resources sustainably for today's and for future generations. So I can only encourage you now to become part of this project, to become part of that change in how we can deal with our resources. And at the same time, we need to make sure that the resources are being used for the benefit of society, of the communities, each and everybody involved, and that nobody is left behind. And Just to put it in numbers, some of you have those numbers earlier as well, but just as a repetition here, because repetition sticks, they say, some of the businessmen here have bought trees for $300. $300 for a tree, which has grown for 100 to 200 years, which has provided not only timber, but maybe also fruit to the community, shade, humidity, storing water, storing carbon, so many different ecosystem services that tree has provided. That tree is being harvested for a mere $300. That same tree is then traded as a log in Walfish Bay for $4,000. You already see that gap. It gets worse actually. That tree in the final markets where that tree is converted into veneer, into furniture, whatever it might be, they can easily fetch something between $30,000 and $500,000. And the farmer on the ground is left with peanuts, a mere $300. And I don't think that makes, economically, that doesn't make sense, does it? So we really would like to engage with you to come together to look at forest value chains, to add value to our forest products. And I'm talking not only about timber products, but non-timber products like fruits, like nuts, seeds, whatever it might be. We need to look at how we can holistically approach our forests, managing them more sustainably on the basis of the principles of sustainable forest management, so that we can really make use of our forests the best way for today and for tomorrow. And so this dialogue event here today is, the idea was to get you to the table, to come here, to engage with this topic, to become part of this movement, to become part of change, and to help that we can uplift the communities, to enforce rural development, and to support development of all, not only for the rural communities, but our country as a whole, and that we can make best use of our resources. So I want to thank you all again for being here today. I would like to thank all the speakers already who've taken the time and prepared for this meeting today. And I would like to invite you to become part of the project for the future. We'll be here on a regular basis to engage with you through trainings, through dialogue events, discussion forums, and I would like to also engage or invite the media to become part of that movement, so that together we can achieve more and we can improve the situation for everyone. And with that, I would like to conclude and thank everyone here. But before I do that, this whole project has also a bit of history. Was it 2-3 years back, Honorable Kama and I actually had the honor to go on a delegation trip to Europe. So we went to Munich, Bavaria, Germany, to look at some integrated agricultural and forest management, so that we would see how forest products could contribute to agricultural production and vice versa. We went to the federal government of Germany to discuss how forestry and sustainable forest management could be improved in Namibia, brought together with some of the experiences we have around the world. We engaged with the European Union, and we were in Brussels in Belgium to engage with the different ministries of the European Union, and the result is that we were able to actually apply for a project with the European Union to get funding for this very project. And the good news is I've already been approached by